Live from the County Seat Sports Grill in downtown Lillington, this is Camel Call Live. My name is Chris Samar, and tonight we've got a jam-packed show for you. We are just 2 weeks away from the start of Campbell men's and women's basketball season. Monday night, November 7th, we will not have our usual Camel Call Live show here, but we will have a doubleheader to open the season as our women play at 5:30, followed by our men at 8. That's coming up in 2 Mondays in Gore Arena. So coming up in the second half hour of our show, our head men's basketball coach Kevin McGeehan will be here with a preview of the season, and 2 of our best from the men's basketball team, Raleigh's own Ricky Clemons, and from the country of Spain, Jesús Carralero will be here. But we kick off the show as we usually do with Campbell's head football coach, former Carolina Panther Mike Minter. Now, this Saturday at NC A&T, it's a battle for first place in the Big South Conference as the 2 conference favorites, both undefeated so far in Big South play, they will collide at 1 p.m. But, Coach, your 3-game win streak was snapped on Saturday. This was a big game. 22-14 was the score. You went out of conference. The loss on the road was to the number 6 team in the country, Jackson State. Now, no team has played the undefeated Tigers that close, losing by just 8 points. What did you like about your team's performance in that game?
Well, Chris, I think the effort the guys came with, the guys really, prepared right, did all the right things as far as that is concerned. So I like that about it. They was in the right mindset to go win that football game. Of course, when you trying to win a game like that on the road against a top 10 team, it's a playoff game, and you have to be able to play smart in those situations. And 6, 7 penalties that we had. I said 6 because the one on Julian just ran the guy over.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But 6 penalties, you cannot win games like that by giving up too many free yards. The other thing is, Chris, we talk about playing fast. When we played the week before against Robert Morris, we was at the speed of 18, which is where we want to be. In this game, we was only at the speed of 17.55. And most people say, okay, Coach, now what does that mean? What that mean is that you straining too hard to try to play for 4 quarters. And if you're not playing that fast, then it makes everything else harder. And man, it was a tough game because of that. The other thing we talked about that we had to do was start fast. That means that the defense got to get 4 stops in the first 4 drives, and we was able to do that defensively. That means no touchdowns in the first 4 drives, so they kicked field goals, which is really good. But when you look at the offense, it's 3 for 5. You got to score 3 touchdowns out of the first 5 drives. And we wasn't able to do that. We scored 1, and now you're in a dogfight. And so, these are the type of things that we trying to learn, as a football team to, handle and take care of. And you must do those things if you're going to win games on the road against a top 10 team.
Coach, you speak of that touchdown, and you led for a lot of the first half thanks to an amazing TD from your quarterback, Haj Malik Williams. It's already got 35,000 views from the clip that they put on ESPN+. Take me through that 20-yard scramble, leap into the end zone for a touchdown.
Well, it's what Haj does, right? He's able to get into his pass progression. And they was in a man-to-man, and, when you're in man-to-man, you're watching your man, you're not watching the quarterback. And everybody was kind of, out there in man coverage. The rush came, and I don't know how he got out of it, but he gets out of it. And once he gets to the second level, it's going to be hard to stop him from 20-something yards out. He's going to score every time. And great move at the end to dive over the top of the defender and getting in the end zone. But we know we're going to get that from Haj Malik Williams at least once a game if we get into the red zone and he decides to take off. It's going to be a touchdown.
After the first quarter, your team was up 7-3. There were 51,000 in there. Maybe about 300 of them were wearing orange. Everybody else for homecoming. That place was packed. It was an electric atmosphere. Snoop Dogg was there. Rick Ross was there. All right, it was all the bells and whistles. I thought your team, although you know there's a lot of things to do better, I thought they handled the atmosphere well. And when your team was up 7-3 after one quarter, you could hear a pin drop in that place.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what you want, right? You want to be able to quiet the crowd down, and we was able to do that in the first half. And really, I never felt that the crowd was, really a factor into the football game because of how the game was going. They score a touchdown middle in the third quarter to kind of get some separation right there. Nice play call. Roll out, throwback to the tight end, dragging across the field. Takes a long time for that to happen. They drew it up and called it. It was a great call at that moment. Caught our safety sleeping on that because they were so, being so aggressive towards where the quarterback was running. And they executed that. And so it was really good. But I don't think the atmosphere or anything like that had anything to do with it, man. That Jackson State football team is everything that everybody say, everything that's been written and been said about this team is true.
Yeah, and you were still in a pretty good position, leading 7-3, and then the opening play of a drive, Haj Malik gets hit from his blind side. The ball pops out as he was ready to throw, and then he was shaken up a little bit. I thought that took the wind out of the sails. Tell me about that, how he recovered from it, and how he's feeling now.
Well, Mr. 45, the linebacker Aubrey Miller from Jackson State did a heck of a job coming off the edge and making that happen. I thought he had a great game. I really thought he was the most impactful player on their defense that really, caused that to happen, which then causes everything else to happen that they went on into the football game. So it was just a great move and a great play by him. We had the play dialed up. We knew what we wanted. We thought we had, the defender beat. But, hey, that's why you pay them dudes up front, man. You got to get to the quarterback before he can release that ball, and they was able to do that. But, Hodge was shaken out and taken out for a drive or two and was able to come back. It was an elbow that got real tight, a muscle, so we was able to get the cramp out of it, and he was able to come back and try to, finish that game. And to your point, I mean, it really did. It was an impactful play, and it really kind of changed the momentum of what our offense could do against their defense. But our defense, great job by them.
Yep.
Coming on the football field and holding them guys to 3 points again. And with all that said, you're still leading 7-6.
Yeah. Yeah, and your defense holding one of the highest scoring offenses in the entire country. These guys were averaging nearly 45 points per game, Coach. Your defense held them to just 22 points, including a late touchdown. What did you see from your D? How were they so effective against that high-powered offense?
Well, I mean, we can play too, and I think that's what we did is we let our athletes play with theirs, but we wasn't going to let Shador beat us with his arm. He was going to have to hand the ball off, and which is why we gave up the run. We gave the run to them because we felt like we'll keep the game close if they think they're going to run the football. And even though the kid had 100 yards, that was by design.
Yeah.
And kind of taking a page out of Bill Belichick's book in the 1990 Super Bowl when they played the Buffalo Bills, and they said we're going to let Thurman Thomas run the ball, and we're going to stop the air attack of Jim Kelly and those guys, and that's what we did, and it was effective the whole game.
No doubt, no doubt. A couple really stood out in a fantastic performance, but Aaron Maddox, he seems to get better and more in control every game, and he's been very good since day one. Can you tell me about this kid who began his collegiate career in the Pac-12 at Colorado?
Well, I really believe, Chris, you go somewhere. I think injuries happen because he was starting. It wasn't like he was just a backup there at Colorado. He was starting. He got hurt. And then now injuries start to mess with your mind. Can I ever get healthy again? And when he got here last year, he was still injured. And so we had to nurse that throughout last year, which is why you didn't hear about him last year. And then the whole off season, he went out and he trained and he got his body healthy. That was number one. And then when he came back from the summer workouts that he was doing, he was ready to go. And now everybody is seeing what he did all summer long to get prepared for this season.
C.J. Tillman was a fantastic freshman. He was an All-American, and then on top of that, Coach, he just from day one as a sophomore, everybody knows he's a guy you got to stay away from, but guys aren't getting away from him. And Jason Williams, of course, in media communication, he's a head SID for your football team, and he's seen a lot of football. He's seen a lot of Campbell football, and he told me after this game, he's like, C.J. Tillman, he hits violently, and that's not saying a dirty player or trying to hurt, but when he hits, you know about it. He just keeps getting better and better.
Yes, I mean, Chris, he's a linebacker. He better hit violently, right? So that he really is the heart and soul of the physical play of our defense.
Yeah,
and he's really an emotional guy. He gets emotional on the sideline. He's trying to get guys going and trying to make plays, and so he turns momentum with them hits and the ability to make that running back think about number 34, and that's what you want out of your linebacker. So, yeah, he was all over the football field making plays all day long. We needed him to do that. When you play in big games like this, you got to have your big players make big plays, and C.J. Tillman was one of those guys, and Josh Johnson was another one.
Another week, another Big South award, this one for the Big South Special Teams Player of the Week in Corey Peterson. He might have been the Offensive Player of the Week had he connected on that fake punt. Tell me what you saw here. And you can't tell me that the Aussie, the best punter in this league, the best punter really in all of FCS, he can throw too?
He can throw, right? but he panicked on me. Hey, look, we've been practicing this.
Yeah.
This is part of our deal, and we was waiting for a team that had the look that we wanted, and Jackson State had that look, and he was wide open, right? Just like practice. But the thing that happened that he didn't see in practice every time that we've practiced it was somebody dropped out of the core and ran back. And so he thought that the guy was covered because he left out of the line of scrimmage. And most of the time in practice, everybody comes. We throw the ball to Xavier Kane, and he catches it and he rolls. But if he'd have just did what he was supposed to do and just throw it, Xavier wide open, right? The dude who left the line of scrimmage is not even thinking about the pass. He's running back there to try to block for the returner, and he's wide open. But I think he panicked a little bit. But that's why he's a punter and not a quarterback, right? So,
well, even with that, he is Corey Peterson. For the second time in 3 weeks, he is the Big South Conference Special Teams Player of the Week. All right, we will turn the page, and when we come back, we will talk to Head coach Mike Mincher about the big showdown in the Big South coming up. The top two teams in the Big South, the top two undefeated teams in the Big South meet in the triad. We'll talk about Campbell, NC A&T coming up after the break. This is Camel Call Live from the county seat in downtown Lillington.
Since 2019, the Fighting Camel Club has funded more than a half-dozen championship-level facility projects. This fall, your Fighting Camel Club donations will fund several new projects, including a new Gore Arena sports medicine facility. For more information, go to gocamels.com and click the Give button. Thanks for supporting the Fighting Camel Club.
Hi Campbell fans, I'm Christy Yarbrough with RE/MAX United. Thinking about buying or selling or know someone who is? Let me help you make the right moves. It's important to work with the right agent with local knowledge and cutting-edge experience. I can help ease the pains of the buying or selling process by guiding you through the steps. Whether it's connecting you with the right lender, home inspector, handyman for those undone projects, staging and prepping your home for sale, or helping you find the ideal home that fits your family's needs. Visit my website for more information at christy.remaxagent.com. Go Camels!
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
Better ingredients, better pizza, better brace yourself because Papa John's has done it again. Introducing Papa Bowls. No crust, just a whole bunch of those Papa John's toppings you love, baked to piping hot perfection. I'm talking crisp veggies, savory meats, all covered in melty cheese, and those signature sauces. Try flavors like Italian Meats Trio, Chicken Alfredo, and Garden Veggie, or get creative and build your own. Papa John's.
Step into a quality home you'll value for a lifetime, perfect for your family at every stage. Mattamy Homes focuses on what you value most, with different designs, styles, and finishes crafted to work within your budget. That's why we're ranked first in quality, value, and customer satisfaction. But we don't just build homes, we create communities with instant appeal and enduring value. See what we're building around Raleigh, places you'll be proud to call home. Visit mattamyhomes.com and see for yourself.
Oh, welcome back to Camel Call live from the county seat in downtown Lillington. We're going to be talking basketball in our last half hour. Campbell Headman's basketball coach Kevin McGeehan is here. We'll have a visit from Ricky Clemons, Jesús Carralero, as basketball season is just 2 weeks away, believe it or not. We are down to the final 4 weeks of football season, believe it or not. Campbell back home for their final home game of the season on November 12th. That's a Saturday versus Gardner-Webb. It's Senior Day. It's Parents' Day. It's the NC Barbecue Bowl. And, Coach, I know you're taking things 1 week at a time, but hopping back in conference, the scenario is simple. If you win the next 3 games, you will punch your ticket to the FCS playoffs for the first time in program history. I guess it's pretty simple to get that message to your player when the scenario is like that. You guys hold your own destiny, don't you?
Absolutely, Chris. And you know, that's what life is all about, is being able to control your own destiny. And it's all about choices, right? What kind of choices are you going to make every single day from the time you wake up to the time you go back to bed as an individual? And if you make the right choices to do the right things, then you will have the opportunity to live out your dreams. And that's really where we at. It's an opportunity for us, and it's going to come down to, Chris, choices that we make today in practice, at home, when you go into the classroom. All these things matter. And so I look forward to seeing these guys prepare themselves and make the right choices so they can have an opportunity to win these 3 games.
These 3 games as well, I take a look at it, and I really think these are the top 3 teams in the Big South Conference, and it starts with probably, next to you guys, the most talented team in the Big South Conference. NC A&T is pretty darn good. They're 2-0 in conference. They're 4-3. They went on the road at Duke, much like you did at ECU, hung with the Blue Devils. They beat NC Central, or they lost actually to NC Central, a team that you beat. And then they have taken care of business in the conference against Robert Morris and against Bryant. So 1 o'clock this Saturday, you'll be at their place. It's homecoming again. What can you tell us about the Aggies?
Well, let me start with number 33. He's the running back, and this guy is special. I think he's the key to their football team, and I think he helps the defense play well. I think with his ability to, make a play at any moment is real big, and so we got to take care of stopping the run and stopping him because they throw the ball to him out of the backfield. They try to get him the ball 100,000 different ways because he's that good.
Yep.
And so we have to be aware of where he's at all times, and we got to tackle well. So we got to run to the ball, which this is who we are as a defense, and we cannot take a play off with this guy because he'll make you pay. So from that point, they got a receiver, number 88, outside. He can run and he can jump, and so they're gonna throw the fade ball to him and try to beat you over the top, and so we got to play very good defense, very similar to what Jackson State had outside with their receivers, and so we got to be able to control that situation and really put some pressure on this quarterback. I think that's at the end of the day. If the quarterback on his back, he can't throw the ball to 33 or 88, and that's what we got to do. We got to be pressuring him all game. We got to be all over him. And then defensively, they got the dudes. They got dudes everywhere. They can, got a great D line. They got, I think, two of the best linebackers that we'll see in conference. And their secondary is strong because Coach Washington is that guy who did it before, so he understands, exactly, what to do and how to do it from a secondary standpoint. So they well coached. I look forward to this. It's going to be fun because it is, two of the top teams that was picked, and it's playoffs today, and we got to, win to get to the next week and do it again and then do it again. So this is going to be fun playing these guys in that homecoming environment. I heard it was sold out already. And so it's going to be good North Carolina homecoming. And they say now, Chris, this is what they say. They say they got the greatest homecoming in HBCU football. And I told them I would judge it.
Yeah.
Based off of Jackson State because they claimed it, and now NC A&T claimed it, and I'll judge and I'll tell everybody which one has the best one.
Yeah, because we saw a pretty good one at Jackson State last week. My goodness,
it was really good. They had some stars out there. So it was amazing, man. What Tion and Jackson State was able to bring to the football game. So it was really good to see. And so, A&T, man, they got a high, mountain to climb to see if they number one.
Coach, I think I know the answer to this question, but, we traveled as well as we could, a charter flight out of Raleigh. You didn't have to take a 11-hour bus ride, and instead you were there in 2 hours, but it was still a lot. Getting on the bus and going just an hour and a half on Friday, how much does that help the team? Is it as easy as a road trip as you think it is?
Well, again, like you said, it's an hour and a half. So either you're on a plane for an hour or you're on a bus for an hour. It's the same because we're going to get to the hotel at 2:30. No matter where we go, we're going to get to the hotel at 2:30. And so it's a routine regardless of what it took to get there at 2:30. Let's start to get our mind ready for this business trip. And so, you probably asking the wrong person again, right? So you got to be asking Miss Knight how hard it is, right? So I look and I say, oh, Chris, it ain't that bad. I mean, come on, man. We're going to get there at 2:30.
Katie Knight, your director of operations that literally moves hundreds of people and equipment across the country. Yeah, we'll have her on. That would be a 3-hour show.
Oh,
we
yeah,
have her on now.
Guaranteed 3 hours.
She knows a lot about everybody. And finally, Coach, I guess that's just it. You have this 3-game stretch in the season, this, at least on paper, the quote-unquote best team in this stretch. You got to beat all 3 to get there. But how do you focus your guys back in after all the emotion of last week and then focus them to, hey, this could be the best team you play. This is a team you have to beat if you want to go to the playoffs.
No, absolutely, Chris. I think it's all about process again. It's no different than what we talked about last week, going to Jackson State and playing them and homecoming and all. Look, when you're in process, you don't worry about the environment that you're going into. You don't worry about the pressures that's outside. And so you got to train people to be in that. And what we talk about, we got to chop wood and carry water, man. And what does that look like? Simple things every day that you do, and you don't change that based off of the pressures that other people try to put on you. You prepare, you do it every single day, and then now you go have fun and you trust your training. And that's really the process that we go through, Chris. So we don't, again, this game, it ain't till Saturday. We got to win today, Monday, and then we got to win tomorrow on Tuesday. And that sounds cliche-ish, but it's really life, right? I mean, how do you become a millionaire? You save little money every single day of your check, and you'll get there, right? It's really that simple, man. But it's really that hard to do, is to stay in the mundane and enjoy it and love it and stay in process.
That is a little bit easier when you get an NFL paycheck and when you get a paycheck from somewhere else. Just to let you know the next time you use that line. All right, Coach Minter and the team will be back in the Big South Conference. 2-2-0 teams battle for first place. It's this Saturday at 1. It's on ESPN3. To confuse everybody, if you don't get ESPN3 or can't get it, we'll have live coverage for you. We're going to start a half an hour early, so 15 minutes earlier than usual on the Varsity Sports Network app. You can get it through Go Camels or on the Varsity Sports Network app. All right, coming up after the break, we're going to talk some basketball with Campbell head coach Kevin McGeehan. We're also going to give away 4 football tickets. A little bit later in the show, we'll give away 4 basketball tickets as well. Stick around. We are talking basketball. The season begins in 2 weeks. Kevin McGeehan coming up after the break. This is Camel Call Live from downtown Lillington.
Since 2019, the Fighting Camel Club has funded more than a half-dozen championship-level facility projects. This fall, your Fighting Camel Club donations will fund several new projects, including a new Gore Arena sports medicine facility. For more information, go to gocamels.com and click the Give button. Thanks for supporting the Fighting Camel Club.
Hi Campbell fans, I'm Christy Yarbrough with RE/MAX United. Thinking about buying or selling or know someone who is? Let me help you make the right moves. It's important to work with the right agent with local knowledge and cutting-edge experience. I can help ease the pains of the buying or selling process by guiding you through the steps. Whether it's connecting you with the right lender, home inspector, handyman for those undone projects, staging and prepping your home for sale, or helping you find the ideal home that fits your family's needs. Visit my website for more information at christy.remaxagent.com. Go Camels!
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
Better ingredients, better pizza, better brace yourself because Papa John's has done it again. Introducing Papa Bowls. No crust, just a whole bunch of those Papa John's toppings you love, baked to piping hot perfection. I'm talking crisp veggies, savory meats, all covered in melty cheese, and those signature sauces. Try flavors like Italian Meats Trio, Chicken Alfredo, and Garden Veggie, or get creative and build your own. Papa John's.
Step into a quality home you'll value for a lifetime, perfect for your family at every stage. Mattamy Homes focuses on what you value most, with different designs, styles, and finishes crafted to work within your budget. That's why we're ranked first in quality, value, and customer satisfaction. But we don't just build homes, we create communities with instant appeal and enduring value. See what we're building around Raleigh, places you'll be proud to call home. Visit MattamyHomes.com and see for yourself.
Well, welcome back to the county seat in downtown Lillington. This is Camel Call Live. The 2022-23 basketball season just 2 weeks away as the men open up on Monday, November 7th at 8 p.m. It'll be the back half of a men's-women's doubleheader. Coming up a week from this Thursday on November 3rd, Creek Madness will happen as it'll be an exhibition, a whole lot of fun, a whole lot of games, a whole lot of giveaways. We're going to have a good time as we introduce you to officially the 22-23 Camels. But joining me right now is Campbell head basketball coach Kevin McGeehan. He is in his 10th year as head coach for the Fighting Camels men's basketball team. In the last 6 seasons, Campbell has won 105 games. That's an average of nearly 20 per year. Those last 6 seasons, they have been the best and the most wins in a 6-year span in the program's Division I history. Just incredible. And Coach McGeehan joining me now. And Coach, we'll start off with your thoughts on initially here, having not played a game yet, but your 22-23 squad.
It's a unique situation, right? We have so many new players this year. We also have a lot of new players that have experience because we have 4 transfers. So we've worked really hard over the last however many weeks to try to get everybody on the same page. And we've played against each other quite a bit. This last weekend we had an opportunity to scrimmage somebody else, and I think that was really good for us just to see somebody with a different color uniform on and, see how different teams scheme and try to, manipulate the game, and we have to adjust and all the kind of stuff that goes into actually playing an opponent. But I've been really pleased with where we are as far as knowledge and understanding. We got a great group of guys. I mean, they're really, really fun to be around. I think our fan base is going to love this team. I just think we're everything that I'd like to have in a team. We got to try to stay healthy, but I think we have the makeups of being really special.
Let's first go through your returners in these years of transfer portals and things like that. A lot of the Big South was decimated. You really kept your core, including Ricky Clemons and Jesús Carralero, who we have out earlier. But you have, like you said, a good core of experienced guys. Talk about those guys that you've known for a while.
Yeah, they're terrific players. Ricky is a great story. I don't think it's even told enough. He came to Campbell as a walk-on who we had seen and really liked the way he played, but we weren't prepared to give him a scholarship at the time, and he earned a scholarship. He earned a scholarship because he is a good player. He improved. He handled coaching well. He's the right kind of guy. He brings a level of toughness to our team. He's a great defender, and so that's a really cool story because now he's one of the best players in the whole conference. Right,
an all-conference type player, just incredible.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he has a magical senior season so that it really can be celebrated. How far he's come and his kind of tale, which is cool. And Jesus is, I think, one of the best players in the league as well. So versatile, incredibly physically talented, but also has a very, very high IQ and understanding of how to play the game. I think he had 114 assists last year for a 6'8" center.
Unbelievable.
Between him and Josh, who was hurt all of last year pretty much, even when he was back, he never really quite got his rhythm. We have the 2 best passing big men in the league by a lot. And that helps us play the way we want to play. So much is predicated on movement and sharing the ball and getting open, cuts to the basket and drives and all that kind of stuff. And I think those 3 guys in particular that have experience are, really ready to kind of help these other ones kind of come in and come under their wing. And we were very, I don't want to say careful, but we were very intentional about the way we recruited in this class. Both our freshmen and our transfers, we really were looking for guys that just saw the game well. Like, we wanted guys that see it, they understand. Usually guys that see and they can pass, they also see things on defense, and they just have a good understanding of how to play. And I think because the way we play is so much read-based, both offense and defense, that recruiting to those strengths is going to enable this group to really be kind of unique and really special.
And you talk about those new guys that you're so impressed with, a good mix of transfers and freshmen. Tell me about the new names and the new faces we'll see out there this year, Coach.
Yeah, we have. It's such an interesting mix. We got Juan Rainier from Alabama State, and he's a really good player. Had a very good freshman year there. Averaged about maybe 8 or 9 points a game as a freshman, which is hard to do.
Yeah, tough league too.
And shot well from three. I mean, he's very talented, and went on to he's basically made the Mexican national team. And so, hopefully he'll have some international playing experience coming down the line here too. And then we got Devin Dunn from Fairleigh Dickinson, who's really originally from D.C. He sat during his COVID year, so he has 2 years left. But he was a all-rookie team player there, and really good, just solid, just really, really good player and tough. And then Jason Sinani, who was at UW Milwaukee. He's originally from Milwaukee. We had recruited him during the COVID year via Zoom, so I never got a chance to see the place. I think he really liked us, and at the last minute, Milwaukee got involved, and he's a hometown kid, and I think it was hard to say no. And so he went, and he didn't love it. I think they had a coaching change this year, and we were able to get back involved with him. Another really good player. And then kind of the transfer group, the kind of last piece was Jay Powell, who's coming from Jacksonville State. And he's a grad transfer, but he has 2 years to play. 6'9", long, athletic, way more skilled than you'd ever be able to see on tape. But we were able to go back and see some junior college stuff and some high school stuff, and he's going to fit in really nicely. Just a game changer with his length, and then he's much more skilled. Like he shot like a couple threes last year for Jacksonville State, but he steps out and makes threes, and he can pass and dribble, and so really a good group. I mean, they all will impact the game, impact our team this year, and so we're super excited about them. And then we got 2 freshmen, Delhi, Anthony Delorso is from Australia.
Yeah.
Then Delhi's just so much easier to say than Anthony, and he's really, really talented. Played like he played as an amateur in a professional league before he got here, and did really well against grown men. Really good feel, 6'6", can handles the ball great, like basically a guard. He is a guard, but with height, with length and height. And then Elijah was in Florida, but he's originally from the UK, and he's like kind of exciting, really exciting too. Like 6'4", long, bouncy, tons of energy and personality. I'm sure you've met him. If there's anybody on campus that hasn't met him, I'd be shocked. He is Mr. Campbell, and I'm sure he's going to be loved by everybody around here. He's really a great kid, and he's got a lot. I mean, there's so much in there that we just have to get up to speed, because he's got a lot of potential and athleticism, and plays with such energy. So, we got a great group that kind of complements our group, and a couple guys that really took big steps this year as well. Like, last year as sophomores, after the kind of weird freshman COVID year, just didn't quite get there, but G and LV have really started to get better. And Brock Mason's been hurt, so he hasn't really practiced, so that's a tough one for me to analyze. But those guys have really made strides. So our practices have been so incredibly competitive, and started 2 different teams this weekend, like first half, second half. I really don't know. If you look at the box score, everybody's minutes were between 17 and 23. We're just really trying to figure out exactly which combos work together well. But the one thing I can tell you is they can all play.
Well,
So-
and the last time we had a conversation like this before the season was 2 years ago, where you knew you had depth, a good mix of experience and old guys, and of course that was a team that set a record for consecutive wins and made it all the way to the Big South tournament. Do you feel that you have depth again?
Yes, big time. Yeah, I think we're deep, and it's going to, we talked about it today. It's like we don't have everything figured out just yet. Just keep competing. I'm not sure. This combinations might look different in a week. Guys are going to get hurt and different things are going to come up, and you just got to be ready to go like the next guy. And that might mean we play different kinds of lineups with size or smaller or whatever we do, but just keep coming because there's plenty here. The chemistry is really good. The guys are really bought into each other and what we're trying to do. And just want to keep riding that wave a little bit as we figure it out and try to figure out how we're going to, be successful. Like what's your starting lineup, what's your closing lineup, what's your small lineup, what's your, who's going to be able to step into certain roles when needed and all that kind of stuff. But, the attitudes have been great, and I love the way we're playing right now.
And another piece of new for your team and new and exciting and guys that have seemed to have come in and fit right in. You have 2 new assistant coaches and one coach that you promoted and Coach Long. But tell me about Coach Sanders and Coach Summy who are new to this program.
Well, Monty Sanders was on my team when I was at Richmond, so he was his sophomore year, our first year, Chris Mooney and myself's first year at Richmond. He was a sophomore there, and he ended up finishing his career at Elon. But we've always maintained a great friendship. He's an unbelievable personality, like really, really good guy, great energy, really, really, you can just, there's nothing phony about him, just he wears it on his sleeve. He loves the guys and it shows. Just really a special kind of guy. And I think that, you need that. That's really critical. Like not every person is going to be able to have the same kind of personality, but you got to have what he brings to a basketball program. And he's incredibly knowledgeable. I mean, he's coached at some really good places here. Last year he was at Winthrop, but he's been at, Wilmington and Western Carolina and Elon. And so he's very experienced and really knows his stuff. And then Mike Summy, who I've really got to know just in recruiting, like being on the road. And then he was at Bowling Green when they came here for the tournament a few years ago, remember? And so, just a lot of times when you host a team, in a kind of a tournament setting where you're around each other for a few days, you just get to talking. And then when I would see him on the road afterward, we would talk. And I was, one of the reasons why he was so memorable to me through time was because his parents live in Holly Springs. And he went to NC State. So, he's always been connected. Even when he was in Ohio at Bowling Green, he was connected to the area. And most recently, he was at NC State the last two seasons. So just a really good guy, very just about the right stuff. Like, and again, like I kind of touched on this a little bit with the way we recruited our team for this year, the transfers and the freshmen, is like trying to make sure we have the right guys. Like it's not, we're looking for certain things, but then we're also looking for the right people. And that's what we did with this staff as well, is finding the right people, just people that are bought in that you can count on.
And that former NC State assistant is going to help you pretty early in the season. I really like the schedule you've put together, Coach. We start 2 weeks from tonight at 8 o'clock, the season opener, and then you kind of see what happens when the lights are on, and you get ready for NC State coming up November 11th, 7 p.m., PNC Arena. That's a sensational way, at least for us fans and people watching from the sidelines, to start the season. How about that?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's exciting. We always try to start local and play as many of the teams that are, in the closest proximity. Yep. Obviously, that allows folks like the Buttses and people that are close by and our most loyal fans to get up there if they can. And so we do try to do that. It doesn't always work out that way. i.e. Evansville, on the schedule. But we do try to get local games, and obviously we've got App State and Wilmington, which is, obviously been a rival for years and will become a conference rival here going forward. Not to steal one of your other questions or whatever, but we do try to get local. And, NC State will be a great challenge. We've played them, we scrimmaged them a few years back and gave them everything they could handle. That was in the Clemons era. We couldn't get a game at that point with them, surprisingly. And then we played them a couple years ago, and it was a tight game. I mean, we were in it for a long time.
No doubt.
I mean, I think our guys will go in there confident. We know we're going to be pretty good. We got to work on some stuff like end of game and, just basic stuff that evolves in any team. And when the mix changes, you got to make sure that you go over that stuff and have things and figure out who's in what spot and what role and all that. But I think we'll go in there confident and ready to win a basketball game. We think about that. We think about games that way every time. But I don't think there'll be any kind of. I don't think there'll be anything but confidence walking in that building.
No doubt. And then you hit the road and you go to the App State tournament. You come back over Thanksgiving, Jacksonville and Stetson, another game close by at East Carolina. And then you talk about UNC Wilmington, who is really Campbell's oldest rival. They've been playing each other since these two teams were JUCO. You're going into the CAA, a heck of a basketball conference next year. Your initial thoughts about Campbell joining the CAA?
Well, I'm excited about it. I mean, I think that's a place that we will continue to grow and thrive. There's some really good teams in there. There's no doubt about it. They're obviously more tradition, I would say. The tradition is a little bit being carried in that conference by teams that are no longer in it, right? Because we all they came onto the scene and we all got to know the Colonial or the CAA with the George Masons and the Old Dominion and all the VCU, obviously, and those teams are all gone. So, but there's still a lot of really good teams in that conference that I think I think it's going to make people really excited to come to Gore Arena and watch us play because there's just so many good teams coming through, and I think we're going to have some renewed rivalries here with Elon and. North Carolina A&T, who we'll see again, and obviously we have history with Hampton, and all that kind of stuff is really interesting. And then you're going to stretch out all the way up the East Coast to, Delaware and Towson and Hofstra and Northeastern and all those places. Pretty neat.
We could spend another hour on this, but you are a guy from Philadelphia, and it's a Philly sports lover's dreams. The Eagles doing what they did, undefeated, and you're Phillies. You're a huge baseball fan, and they're going to the World Series. Sensational.
Yeah, it's incredible.
He's got a big smile on his face.
I can't even really believe it. I mean, I can in some ways. Like, everything that I thought they could be as a team is happening right now, but it just feels like years and years and years of, like, never quite getting there. And it just feels like it's starting to come together. I think the manager has done a really good job of sort of pushing the right buttons, trusting the young guys, but then being ready to make this managerial decisions when he needs to that seem to throw it right back to just trusting the next guy, and then they've been coming through. I mean, it's been pretty magical. It's been fun to watch. This year, we had switched our phone service, so T-Mobile gave away the MLB, the whole season. So I was able to watch. I probably watched like 100 games. Yeah. And so I feel way more connected this year. For years it's like you might catch a game here and there when it's on Sunday Night Baseball or, a random, when they play the Nationals, I get that on Masson or whatever. But this year I've really watched them progress, and it's been really, really fun to watch. I mean, Bryce Harper is absolutely lights out right now. They
thought he was going to be good in high school, and he's good now. That is Campbell head coach Kevin McGeehan. He almost likes baseball as much as he likes basketball. It's going to be a good end in October and November. His Camels start the season November 7th at 8 o'clock. For tickets, go to gocamels.com. We will take a break and come back with two of the best, Ricky Clemons and Jesús Carralero from the men's basketball team. After this, it's Camel Call Live from downtown Lillington.
Step into a quality home you'll value for a lifetime, perfect for your family at every stage. Mattamy Homes focuses on what you value most, with different designs, styles, and finishes crafted to work within your budget. That's why we're ranked first in quality, value, and customer satisfaction. But we don't just build homes, we create communities with instant appeal and enduring value. See what we're building around Raleigh, places you'll be proud to call home. Visit MattamyHomes.com and see for yourself.
Since 2019, the Fighting Camel Club has funded championship-level facility projects such as the Eeks Athletics Complex renovation for Camel Soccer and a new strength and conditioning space inside Gore Arena. This fall, your Fighting Camel Club donations will fund a new sports medicine facility, a new locker room for women's basketball, and a new digital media lab for athletes to work on their personal brands. Providing championship resources for Campbell student athletes. That's the mission of the Fighting Camel Club. For more information, go to GoCamels.com and click on the Give button.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate. No matter how many fans you're trying to feed.
1, 2, 3.
There's
Can
the
you hear?
original
1, 2, 3.
tailgate,
Okay.
the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bow time.
Well, welcome back to the county seat in downtown Lillington. This is Camel Call Live. We are just 2 weeks away from the start of basketball season, and joining me, two of the best not only on this Campbell team but in the entire Big South Conference. We'll first talk about Ricky Clemons, and Ricky has been a member of this team now for 5 years. He is an all-conference player, and he is one of the best in the Big South. And Ricky, we'll start with you because you've been here, you've seen it all. What do you like about this year's 22-23 Camels?
I have to say, so far it just seems like on one goal, which is to cut the nets down at the end of the year. Everybody's all on the same page, and it's good to be that way early, so you can carry it into the season.
Yeah, Ricky, a lot of new guys coming in, talented guys, but new guys, not only freshmen, but transfers. How difficult is it to kind of get them into what you do and how you do it?
I wouldn't say it's extremely difficult. Of course it's new for them, but I kind of pride myself on getting those guys up to speed and, making sure they know what to do, when to do it, and, how to do it.
Alongside you is your running mate. He is one of the most talented players along with you in the Big South Conference. Last year, he was the only player in the Big South Conference to rank among the league's top 10 in rebounding, assists, steals, and block. He is Jesús Carralero. And Jesus, I want your opinion on this 22-23 team. What do you like about your team this year?
What I love about this team's year is your team. We got a lot of guys that are really good competitors that we compete pretty much every day. And I feel like it's just the thought that we got coming into every practice today is that you got to push the guy right next to you. And there's no hard feelings during practice. And we're all on the same page, I feel like. And, we're just pushing each other every day. We're getting better every day. Like what Ricky said, we're going towards the same goal. We're trying to cut the nets. And I feel like we just everybody's on the same page.
Ricky, would you agree with that? How competitive have practices been here in the last couple of months?
We compete every day. Like you said, just knowing pushing the next guy's only going to make us better as a team in the long run. So, that's something we look forward to doing, when we practice.
Jesus, your game is so well-rounded. Where does that come from? It seemed like last year you were finally away from all the injuries and you really got to show us what you can do. Where does that well-rounded game come from for you?
Well, this comes from all the way middle school, probably something like that. When I was in 6th grade, I was a big fella. I was a little chunky too.
Wait, no, you're kidding me. You were chunky
I was
in middle
chunky.
school.
I was wearing goggles for games.
That sounded like me in middle school, Jesus, not you.
Yeah, I didn't look like an athlete out there. But yeah, I was super talented. I was a fighter. I was bringing the ball up. And yeah, I was all-around player. That was a characteristic that came from all the way down from middle school, I feel like. And yeah, I grew up playing forward, playing guard, whatever the team needed me to play. And yeah, I feel like it gets reflected to my game today. You see my sometimes my point guard skills. You see my center skills sometimes. And I just trying to help the team whatever they need me to do. So, yeah.
Jesus, you've told me about what you love about these guys on the court. They're competitors. What do you like about these guys off the court? Your team that really seems to like each other a lot.
Yeah, we got a lot of funny guys. Eli, yeah, that's Eli, LV. Yeah, the list goes on and on. Yeah, they're really funny. Really good people off the court, and they're really good kids. Yeah.
Ricky, your head coach talked about it. We've talked about it a lot, but maybe for some of those that have only known you as a guy that's in the starting lineup every day, that's an all-conference talent, that's going to do anything that he can to win the best defensive player in the Big South Conference. And I will start the campaign now for you to finally get what you deserve in Big South Conference Defensive Player of the Year. But all of that, take me back to 4 or 5 years ago where you didn't even have a scholarship on this team. What caused you to stay and know that this could be your path to become one of the best players in the conference?
I had a really good relationship with Coach Smith, and I remember I came down on an unofficial visit one time, and it just felt like the right place. Not too far from home either. So, like I said, it had the right feel to it, and I knew when I got here I was gonna have to work. A lot of talented guys ahead of me. Chris, of course, Jordan, Jakor, all talented guys. So, I knew it was going to be, I had a lot of work ahead of me.
The defense, that's your hallmark. You have built your game around that, and now you are one of the better offensive players, not only on this team, but in the conference. But tell me about that defense, and where does that come from to make you be one of the best defenders in the Big South?
It's funny, actually, because I didn't play any defense in high school. I didn't really play defense until I got here, if I'm going to be honest. At first I just knew that would be something to get me on the court. And then it just kind of became something that I liked, picking guys up, being intense, getting into the ball, stuff like that. Just kind of stuff that gets me going a little bit, throughout the games.
So Ricky is pretty much close to home, just about 40 minutes away. Jesus, you're a little bit farther away from home.
Yeah.
First, how does a guy from Spain find his way from Bowie's Creek, and what have you really loved about this place here?
Yeah, I'm a little farther. Yeah, I mean, first I did a year in Missouri, Branson, Missouri. I did a preschool year. I was there with one of my hometown coaches. He told me about this prep school, and he helped me out through the whole process. And then when I went to Branson, Missouri, Coach Thomas reached me out one day. They told me about this school. I mean, when I first got to the States, I didn't have any idea what was a good school, what was a bad school. So when the coaches started reaching me out, something that I point out from Campbell was that personal attention and like that communication I had with Coach Thomas. I feel like that was one of the biggest reasons why I came to Campbell, the way they treated me. And I feel thankful to all the coaches for the opportunity. And it is something that wouldn't have changed. I love Campbell. I wouldn't if I go back right now, 4 years, I would take the same decision right now. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Ricky, why has Campbell had such a great place in your heart?
It's a family feel, you know. Everybody's close, you know, in between athletics. You know, all the sports teams root for each other. You know, it just feels right, you know.
Finally, I'll ask both you this final question as we wrap up the show. What is something that when the fans come and watch you guys play this year, we'll start with your Jesus. What is something they're going to notice? What are they going to love?
Just that feeling of like a competitor mentality that we're going to have during every single game, because we're not trying to lose this year. We're going to win. We're going to cut the nets. That's the mindset that we're settling right now in every practice. And fans are going to see that we're going to die for every ball. We're going to fight on every possession. And we cut in the nets this year.
Ricky, how about you? What are the fans going to like when they come and see you guys play?
We're gonna fight, man. Like he said, it's a very competitive group. You know, nobody likes to lose at all. So, you know, we're going to fight every possession, every second of the game, you know, diving on the floor, high intensity. And, you know, we're gonna win. You know, that's the main goal. When you go out there, you want to win. So that's what we're going to do.
They are two of the best in the Big South, and you can see them start the season November 7th, 2 weeks from tonight. Campbell will play at 8 o'clock, the back half of a men's-women's doubleheader. My thanks to Campbell head football coach Mike Minner, our head basketball coach Kevin McGeehan, and these two awesome student athletes in Jesús Carralero and Ricky Clemons. That'll do it for us for Camel Call Live. Make sure you tune into the Camel Call Friday podcast, and we'll be back next week right here in the County C. Thank you for coming, and have a great night, everybody.